I know it's a little bit odd to see a video like this on my channel, but I needed to discuss this episode. Like, bro. I just finished the Season 7 premiere of The Walking Dead. Just finished that episode. Oh. The amount of feels I have. Like, I feel so sad right now. Oh my, I did not expect to walk into Walking Dead feeling like that. I knew someone had to die, especially with the cliffhanger. But what happened in this episode and the way it was displayed and executed blew my expectations out of the water. So, if you have yet to watch the episode of The Walking Dead, the episode 7 premiere, I do not recommend watching this video. I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna spoil shit. So, if you have not, caught up, or if you have not watched this episode, do not watch this video, because I do not want to spoil. I do not want to spoil what happened in this episode. Now that I give a fair warning, let me discuss it. So, Abraham as a character. I've always liked his character. I've always liked his attitude, his personality. He has a lot of charisma. And throughout his journey for recent seasons of The Walking Dead, I've grown rather close to his character. He's one of my personal favorites. He has some very good lines. Seeing him go like that was truly tragic. And I mean, the way the man says, "suck my nuts," that was his final line to go out on. I gotta commend the man. At the very least, he didn't go down nothing. He said something. He said some final words, and then his head got kind of crushed in, no pun intended, like a freaking nut. But the main thing is Abraham as a character, okay? When I saw him die, to be honest, I actually had a sign of relief. Now, like I said, I like Abraham. I like his character. But I had a sigh of relief because I realized these other characters, Michonne or someone like Glenn, they wouldn't die. I wouldn't see these characters die because, I've known them a hell of a lot longer. I've gotten more time to grow attached to these said characters. So when I saw Abraham die, I was sad. But at the same time, I was relieved to know it was this character instead of these other characters. And when I saw Daryl jump up and do what he did to Negan, and then Daryl's pushed back, and then Glenn got his head smashed, that's when the horror of the episode really clicked. I knew someone was gonna die in this episode because the way the cliffhanger was with Season 6. But to think 2 characters died, possibly 3 because of what's going on with Daryl. Glenn's death was fucking sad. And that's not even the saddest moment of the episode. Honestly, that wasn't even the saddest. It's a horrifying scene. But that's not even the saddest moment of the episode. The saddest goes to when Rick has to contemplate, does he need to chop off his own son's arm to save everybody else? And that, I'll get into that in a moment. But the Glenn scene, what really makes that scene so horrifying is because you have that happiness or relief. As I said, I had that relief thinking since Abraham died, nobody else would have to die in this episode. But then when I saw Glenn's head get smashed and you saw how his head when you saw his head indent, you knew he's dead. There's no way around this. Even if, somehow he lived past that point, he's gonna have brain damage. And his final words, what he said to Maggie, that was the sad part about the episode too. He says, "I will find you, Maggie." I swear that's what he was trying to say. And this goes back to what he was trying to do previous seasons. Now, I don't know if he was trying to say he would try to find her in the afterlife. I don't know if that's what he was trying to imply. But because his head got smashed in, I'm assuming he had, brain damage. And, he probably started thinking of things of what he said in the past, trying to find his wife. So when you think about it like that, That's probably what he was saying it for. And his final words to his wife is just, it's fucking tragic. Like, holy fuck, that's tragic. Just saying, I'll find you, and his head gets beaten. And to make it even worse, just the way Negan picks fun at this man. He's like, oh, you look gross, your eyes popping out and all that. But he's like, no exceptions, and then smashes his head. And you just see him repeatedly beating Glenn's head in. Oh my god, the freaking horror of that scene when you just see Glenn's body just getting beaten. You just hear the sound. You just hear the beating sound of his body getting hit. It's just terrifying. But then the horror doesn't stop there. Once all of that is done, Rick is having time to contemplate. And what he's thinking of how he says, I will kill you. Like, it may not be today. It may not be tomorrow. I will kill you. That's what Rick says. And that's honestly the reaction any man would make. I mean, if one of your family members got killed like that in cold blood too, you'll want to kill the bastard that did that. And the way Negan made an example of Rick and beat this man down to where he broke, that was some quality execution to the writing of this episode. Because Rick, throughout the journey of The Walking Dead, this man, he's been a badass. He's done some very badass fucking things. Some crazy things. And he's been a badass. He's been this strong leader. And for the first time, we get to see Rick. Nothing is going as planned. This man, he loses 2 loved ones right in front of him. And he can't do nothing about it. There's nothing he could have done. If you would have stood up and tried to fight back, more people would have died. All of them would have died. So Rick couldn't do anything. And to just kind of put that in Rick's head even more, and to let us know as the viewer, where Rick was pulled down, and you had it to where his son, Carl, was brought over. Negan said, you're going to be doing the cutting. Cut his arm. I don't even want to imagine how painful that must be to feel as a father or any type of family member. Just think about this, okay? Imagine having to cut off your own son's arm. Not because he got bitten by a walker. No. It's not like that. You have to cut off his arm. That's perfectly fine because some psychotic bastard is trying to make an example of you. And to make it even worse, you can't do nothing. You can't stop it. If you were to stand up and fight against this man, everyone would die. Your son would die right then and there. Everybody would die. And then you would be forced to live on for a couple years, as Negan said, and then he'll finally kill you. That's bad. That's a painful experience I don't even want to begin to imagine. And so when this man was about to chop off his own son's arm, you saw the desperation. When he started begging Negan, he's like, please, me. Don't let me do it. Just do it to me, and all that. It made me so sad, because Rick is a character, seeing him like that, you know he broke. When you just saw the tears, and you saw the way he was expressing himself, like, hats off to the actor of Rick. Like, holy shit. The acting skills of Rick, the actor in general, very good. Very, very good work, because it was very believable, the emotions that the actor brought to that scene, especially with him just being so upset and sad, and just shaking and not knowing what to do when he sees his own son like this. He's about to have to chop off his arm. The actor needs a pay raise. That's some really good acting skills just for that alone. But when you have it to where Carl, he's like, do it, Dad. Badass by Carl. But I felt so bad, because that would mean that he realizes the situation. He knew that the best outcome would be to have his arm chopped off at that moment, because if he did, nobody would have to die. Yes, he would have no arm, and that's fucking horrible to have no arm in a zombie apocalypse, but it's worse than everybody dying. So, seeing Carl do that, and see how he was willing to give up his arm, it was sad, but it also shows you what type of character Rick is, too. It's not that he was going to do it, but he did it, and he was going to cut off his son's arm because he cared about everyone else, too. Because normally in a situation, if your son or any family member's, in danger, you usually will put their life first over anyone else, like someone as like a best friend or a stranger. I mean, let's be truthful, okay? Let's be really honest and truthful right now. Usually a person will put their family member over anyone else. Over strangers, best friends, whatever. That's usually how it'll work. And when Rick couldn't make that decision, or he couldn't stand up to fight against Negan, it let us know how much Rick truly cares about the entire cast, all of his friends, or his family. It lets us know that what he truly feels when he says you're like family, he truly means those words. He's not lying about it. He's not just throwing it out there to add some emotional weight to the entirety of the series of The Walking Dead. As a character, him showing that showed us that he truly does care about everyone like they're his family. Not just Carl, but everyone. And that's what really made the scene so much sadder, when he couldn't make that decision. And he had to make a decision, or everything would have been even worse than it was. So, Walking Dead, well done on the Season 7 premiere. The sadistic nature of Negan is great. I want him to die. I hate him, but that's what he's supposed to be. That's what type of character Negan is supposed to be. He's supposed to be a character we hate. But I gotta hand it. I gotta hand it to the actor. I gotta hand it to the writers. Negan is a fucking great villain. I like Negan as a villain. And just the display of him, this aura that he gives off, it's perfect. It's very, very good. So, yeah. What's everybody's thoughts on this episode of The Walking Dead? How do you all feel about the premiere? How do you all feel about what Rick had to do? Do you feel like Rick is going to allow Negan to walk all over him and he's not going to try to stand up? Or do you think he will eventually stand up and fight? Because this isn't your traditional enemy that, our gang has to go up against. Negan has an army. Negan has a lot of people. Negan has the resources. And this man, when he says he'll do something, he will do something. So this isn't someone you can, talk with. This one is very psychotic. Way more so than the governor ever was, from what we've seen throughout the series. So, Negan, as a villain, definitely hype. Definitely a hype villain. Can't wait to see what direction the rest of Season 7 is going to go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.